Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tiger Talk Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Tiger Talk. This is the show being recorded on Friday, 10/7/18. I'm here with my partner in crime, as always, Blade and Thunder. How you doing, Thunder? Blade?
Doing good.
We're in our newly remodeled studio, so you see us. We're sitting at a desk. We've got our backdrop going, so whole new setup. We hope to bring you many new episodes from this as we move forward. First, as always, we're going to knock out some items in the news. Why don't you start off for us, Mr. Blade?
Holy Cross falls to the Raiders, 39-3. Keep your chin up, Tigers. Well, now you'll come back strong. It's a pretty funny twist of fate that we went from annihilating people to getting annihilated ourselves.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. That's why we want to make sure that the guys know we're still behind them no matter what. They're doing a good job. Still a lot of season left to go. Some other things going on in the news. Academic Games team places in city tournament. Congratulations to the Holy Cross Academics Games members for their excellent play in the city's propaganda tournament. In the 5th and 6th grade division, Holy Cross had 2 of the top 3 players in the city. Out of close to 100 different students, Blake Bigner placed 3rd and Tyler Tran clinched 2nd place. The team with Tyler, Peter, Carson, and Rohit and Chase placed 4th overall. In the 7th grade division, the 7th and 8th grade division, the team with Wyatt, Christian, Luke, and Shivam and Devish placed 4th as well. So congratulations, you guys did a great job on all of that. What else do we have going on?
Open House Fairs Avenue campus. This yearly event will be held Monday, November 12th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Visit campus with your son and learn about our academic, athletic, extracurricular, and spiritual programs. This is a great opportunity to interact with our administrators, faculty, alumni, parents, and students while you learn about our mission of educating minds, hearts, bodies, and souls. Yeah,
I don't know if we're going to do anything with it this year. We did last year. It was a lot of fun, but it's a worthwhile event. If you've never been with your son, take the tour. We know you will be won over for sure. Well, this week we have the long-awaited interview with Mr. DesOrmeaux. We put it off last week with all the fanfare that was happening, and we wanted to give him the spotlight he deserved and enjoyed. So take a moment, watch this good interview with him, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tiger Talk. I am sitting here with Coach D. We are sitting in his office here at the high school building. Mr. DesOrmeaux was kind enough to sit down with us and just have a little conversation about what's going on at school as we've been sharing interviews with everybody. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Well, thank you for interviewing me for Tiger Talk. It's been a couple years now since it's first popped up on the Holy Cross Wrestling Facebook account as a possibility to go into, and I've been enjoying the interviews you guys are doing over the past couple of years. How was the footage that you took at the pep rally?
Fantastic. We had a good time with that. We added some of that into the show, especially when the guys were doing banana and things like that. It was a lot of fun to add some of that in, and we're going to share a whole bunch of that. We'll have a whole bunch more from, not this week with Shaw, but next week with Jesuit. We'll be back, as we've done every year, to do the pep rally then.
What an exciting pep rally for the student body.
Oh, my goodness.
We're already pre-planning on the number of people that come and visit us on that particular day, making sure we're signing them in, make sure the safety protocols go in, but we want everybody to have fun and enjoy themselves. So look out for the visitor passes, look out for the alumni passes that we're going to be passing out during that time. But we fully expect to have 2,000 plus in the arena on that particular day.
That's amazing. And it's a wonderful thing to show that you have both parents and alumni so active to come back for such an amazing event.
Not only active, but welcome to come back. We want them to feel like this is their campus. Sometimes that transition between the 4950 Dauphine and the 5500 Paris Avenue, sometimes that transition's hard, and those alumni, like myself from 4950, can't see it until they get on campus. And we always say the same thing: don't come see the campus when there's no students here. You need to see the students on campus because you relate to that little young man that you see in the back corner. He goes, that was me. And that is an immediate connection. And then they feel comfortable and they feel wanted and they feel like they can add back in. We'll tell any alumni, I don't need your money, I need your time. Come donate time with these boys, because that's the message we want to get across. We just love creating more opportunities for even our parents to come on. Obviously, the boys see it every day. They have their favorite place that they eat lunch. They know what oak tree they need to stand under to stay out of the rain. Giving our parents an opportunity to enjoy this place that we love so much is huge, and we'll see those opportunities throughout this year of bringing more parents on campus for that. We're blessed with the opportunity in the beginning of the year to actually bring the faculty and staff back to the 4950 campus. We planned that in August. We had buses that took us from Dockville Farm, where we had a retreat, over to the campus. Like we make all the boys do, we sang the fight song on the way there, we sang the alma mater, and when we showed up, the alumni were waiting for us at the 4950 campus with the gates open, and such a special experience for some of our faculty that may not have never seen that campus. But want to say there's only 20% of us that were actually taught on the 4950 campus and have transitioned here. A very special day that ended with us on the levee looking at the campus and, of course, looking at the beautiful river.
It's a great bridge. It really does help bring it full circle, gives you the magnitude of the size of the scale of things that Holy Cross has been around and such an integral part of the neighborhood. I mean, how many schools have a neighborhood that the neighborhood is named after them?
Absolutely. The Brothers of Holy Cross actually talked to us about this when we were with them in Austin. Originally, Holy Cross, the reason it's not called the Holy Cross is because we were named after the neighborhood in France. And then we come to Louisiana, and then, of course, the neighborhood is named after us. And I told them, what do we have to do in this neighborhood to have such a profound impact on it that they want to name another neighborhood after us? 169 years just with our school of history. I know by next year we're going to be celebrating the 200th birthday of Father Juarez, I said one of our founders. Absolutely amazing history, knowing that the congregation was founded at the time of the French Revolution. And really it was revolutionary as a congregation where they never had both nuns, priests, and brothers in the same congregation. They created that trinity. I've told the boys already this year, I said we were a congregation founded of the revolution, and we might do some revolutionary things this year that are countercultural to what's going on in our society.
What do we have going on? Here we are filming this in mid to late September. We're about a third of the way into our school year. We have a whole lot of school year yet to go. What do we have happening this year that everybody needs to be looking out for?
What a beautiful experience. On Friday we had our 7th grade retreat. We brought the 7th grade over to the Elysian Fields campus. That bridge from Elysian Fields where both our seniors that run the retreat for the 7th grade, the 7th graders taking their knowledge of Holy Cross and bringing it to some of our pre-K through 4 students. The best part about that day, a senior came back and said, Coach, I felt like I was a god over there. These kids saw me and they looked up to me, and I saw everything in their eyes that they wanted to be me, and then I started changing how I spoke to them because I knew I had to be that role model for them. And I'm like, well, that's it. That's the Boys to Men program that we were pushing. And the fact that the boys took that and they got that out of it, not only the seniors but the 7th graders, made them better and made them better people.
My co-host Blade, of course, is in 7th grade, and he was ecstatic when he came back to talk about his experience and talking with the kids over there and getting to share all the stuff that he's experienced in his few years here. So definitely a winner all the way around. He couldn't have been more excited. I can't even imagine how, 4th graders are hearing this kind of stuff.
They can't wait. I said we're just doing everything to get them so excited by the time they come to the Paris Avenue campus. They are blow and go. They said they're very excited about everything they can do over here. Now we have increased opportunities for them this year, bringing them over pep rallies, we're bringing them over for more masses, making sure that there's a unification of both those campuses. We're getting out of the habit of calling it primary and main campus. Elysian Fields campus, Paris Avenue campus, because we are one school, and that is a huge push this year for us.
Well, and I think that's almost whetting their appetite. The more times they get to come over here, that's something that urges them even more to want to be a greater part of all of this. I know in talking with the men's club, they are very vocal about making sure that primary parents, the same thing with the Lady Tigers, primary moms and all that, can get involved and be a part of it.
We actually, at the last Wednesday breakfast that our primary does once a month, one of the moms is getting, and she called it play dates. set up for the little ones. So prior to them even coming to the primary, she's trying to get the Holy Cross families together of the boys that they know are going to be coming in, and they're setting up play dates. And I only asked her one thing. I said, our boys don't play. They can have adventures. I said they can have exciting times, so just don't call it a play date. And I kind of laughed it off on that one. But she understood it's going to be a Tiger Day for them where they're going to get together. But that
terminology means a lot nowadays.
It's that bond of family. It's the bond of family. And they're starting that at 3 and 4 and moving on. I cannot imagine what one of the young men are going to look like that have gone pre-K all the way through 12 with us. So that is going to be a mighty oak.
One of the things people always ask is, well, how different is the school from when it was on Dauphine to it is now? And I tell people I think that's the wrong question. I think it's how much has it grown. It's not different, it's better. It's continued to evolve as it would have there as well. We're constantly evolving, and I think it's done nothing but get better over the years.
No, I have to agree. I said we had to evolve because we want to be competitive with the best schools, not in the state of Louisiana, but in the nation. Because our standard is being a great national school, not school just for Louisiana. Nothing against Louisiana schools, but our aspirations are much higher than that. We have some competition between some of our brother and sister schools just in the Holy Cross congregation. We have schools all over the United States and really all over the world that we're setting our tier to them. You know, how do we compare to our St. Francis? How do we compare to a Merle Catholic? It's because we truly have a competition within our congregation that drives us. I said, we know we're going to be different. We're not going to be a school on Banks. We're not going to be a school in Elysian Fields. We want to be the best Holy Cross school that we can be. We have a different mission.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful to see where some of our boys had gone to some of our brother schools and other places over the summer to see how they did things, a friendly rivalry as it was, to compare your schools with each other. And I think that gives everybody a broader sense of what you're part of. You're not one school, one community. This is a nationwide, if not an international thing as well, as you've got Holy Cross brothers who are all over the world teaching and being part of the system.
Speaking to that whole concept of them being all over the world, the general push is when an alumni comes back, is he goes, well, I don't see the brothers on campus. I don't see the priest on campus. And it's something that Brother Donald talked to me about over the summer. He's like, Eric, we're continuing to expand. The reason you don't see the brothers here is because we have never stopped. Brother Matthew Lyons was the principal when I came, and then he ended up at about 91. I want to say that he moved back to the congregation. He just opened another school in Brazil. He's 80 years old. It goes absolutely astounding to me, and it was important for me to hear that from them, that it's not that they don't want to be here, it's that their mission continues. We've got it. You know, Brother Donald will say that. No, Holy Cross New Orleans has it. Y'all have the mission. Y'all know what you're doing. And the reason the brothers aren't here is because they want to take that mission to other parts of course, this nation, other parts of the world. And they are. Can you imagine Brother Matthew Lyons? I remember him as this 6'4" giant of a man, at 80 years old, still opening up new schools. Now, we are blessed this year. We have 2 priests. One is Father Ducote, who is going to be assigned to us from the Archdiocese as our chaplain, but we also have Father Gennaro, who's a Holy Cross priest that was reassigned. He's actually living at University of Holy Cross and splitting his day, half the time here, half the time at the university. So we do have a Holy Cross clergy on campus now. So we're working to see where that role stands, and he's slowly moving his way in. He absolutely loves sports, told me that he'll be at every game except wrestling, which I'm like, all right, well, I got to make him into a wrestling fan. I can take care of that one.
I saw him on the sidelines this past week.
Absolutely.
As we move forward, what would you like to say to the family, the boys, the alum that watch the show every week and listen to the show every week? What can we tell them about the upcoming year and as we progress, as things go on?
Get involved. So that at this point, because of the opportunities through Lady Tigers, through Men's Club, through Alumni Association, that is doing a phenomenal job of reinvigorating our alumni, and our Athletic Association, making sure that you are involved. I told our primary parents last week, direct correlation between parental involvement and your son's grades. Get involved. So we have all these beautiful facilities, we have all these beautiful activities set up for you. Show up, because that is going to be the #1. Look to the website, look to our Facebook account that is now producing all these different lines. be here, because the best thing you can do for your son is be involved in a school.
Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day. I grabbed him coming out of one meeting. I'm sure he's going to run into another one as soon as we finish up. But I think it's so important to show all sides of this, guys. We've talked with coaches, we've talked with kids, we've talked with everyone, and now to be able to kind of come full circle to show that we're all part of the same team here is a wonderful effort.
Thank you for being here today.
Well, thanks to Mr. DesOrmeaux for sitting down with us. That was a great interview, don't you think?
Yep.
Make sure you come back and see us in the coming weeks. We have some great interviews scheduled. I'll be on campus tomorrow with several of the deans for some interviews that you'll see in the coming weeks, and be well worth it, guys, definitely. Well, let's move on to our upcoming events. Start us off, Mr. Blade.
The week of the 8th through the 12th is HC Week.
And AC Week is a preamble to homecoming, with homecoming coming up in the end of the week. There'll be all kind of things that Mr. Ferry will be putting on and handling for the week. That's pretty cool. October 11th, Men's Club Social and Meetings, 6:30 p.m. in the huddle. Everybody gets a chance from the primary school all the way up to be part of that, parents. October, oh, I was stealing your thunder. You're next. Go ahead.
October 11th, Chorus Fall Concert from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. at St. Charles Avenue Presbyterian Church.
October 12th, Friday, varsity football versus Brother Martin. That's the homecoming game, 7 p.m. at Tad Gormley Stadium.
October 13th, which is a Saturday, the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra at Holy Cross from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Student Center.
We'll have a link for more information on that on the website. That's a really cool event that I saw on the schedule, and I emailed the school and got more information, so it's a whole lot of fun. October 13th, Saturday, is actually the homecoming dance, 8 p.m. to 11. That's going to be at the Pontchartrain Center.
October 15th, Monday, which is a student holiday.
Another student holiday. Really?
Yeah.
Man, you'll get a lot of days off. It's also the golf tournament that day as well. Teachers will have some special things they'll be doing. The golf tournament will be going on with the Alumni Association at Bayou Oaks Golf Course. We'll try to get somebody on to give us highlights for that for the week. What's the last thing on our list there?
October 21st, Holy Cross Family Day on the Holy Cross main campus.
Always a lot of fun. We
Pray for no rain.
pray for rain.
I'm sorry, I meant to say pray for no rain.
Pray for no rain, definitely.
Please don't rain. Please don't rain. Please don't rain.
Next up, we have This Week in History. First up is 54 A.D. Nero succeeds his great-uncle Claudius as the new emperor of Rome. I put that one in there just for you, since we were just talking about that.
In 1492, Christopher Columbus and his crew land in the Bahamas.
Since this is Columbus Day this week, thought it would be important to put that one in there. 1727, George II is crowned King of England.
In 1777, the Continental Congress orders the establishment of the Continental Navy, later renamed the U.S. Navy.
So, happy birthday to the U.S. Navy. In 1845, the U.S. Naval Academy is founded at Annapolis, Maryland. Definitely wanted to add that one in because we've had several great students here at Holy Cross receive scholarships to the Naval Academy.
In 1871, the Great Chicago Fire begins in southwest Chicago.
In 1888, the Washington Monument, designed by Robert Mills, opens to the public.
In 1911, the Panama Canal opens.
That one wasn't to the public, was it?
Of course not.
Okay.
It's the Panama Canal.
In 1922, Lillian Gatlin becomes the first woman pilot to fly across the United States.
In 1968, Apollo 7, with 3 men aboard, is successfully launched from Cape Kennedy.
In 1971, the London Bridge, built in 1831, reopens in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, after being sold to Robert McCullough.
Why is the London Bridge in Arizona?
Because Mr. McCullough had enough money to buy it.
And the name.
And the name, too, so. And lastly,
in 2001, U.S. President George W. Bush establishes the Office of Homeland Security.
well, that's a whole lot of great history. We always want to update with our Piece of Holy Cross history. This week, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. We wanted to start all the way back and work our way through what we could find, and we thought it was important to get some of this stuff. In 1849, at the invitation of the Most Reverend Antoine Blanc, Archbishop of New Orleans, 5 brothers of the Congregation of Holy Cross were sent by Father Basil Moreau to assume responsibility for St. Mary's Orphanage. During the early years of the foundation, New Orleans was devastated by a series of epidemics: cholera, yellow fever, and malaria. The city suffered privation as a result of the northern blockade during the war against the states, and there was continuing aggravation of the climate, by which Brother Vincent said was unhealthy, especially for strangers. More than once, consideration was given to withdraw from New Orleans. Thank goodness they didn't. In 1859, the congregation purchased the Rains Farm, a riverfront plantation, which is now part of the Lower Ninth Ward. In 1879, as the need for an orphanage diminished, St. Isidore's College, a boarding and day school, was opened. This became the original site on which Holy Cross School stood, and it's here that Holy Cross history officially begins. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
And we'll be updating as we go through. We'll try to move our way through history with a little bit about everything that we can come up with. Well, Mr. Blade, why don't you go ahead and close us out for the week?
Remember to visit our website at www.tigertalk.us, or visit our Facebook page at Tiger Talk, or visit our Twitter page at HC Tiger Talk, or leave us a review on iTunes, or email us at hctigertalk@gmail.com, or visit our store at www.cafepress.com/tigertalkpodcast.
Make sure you subscribe to this show on all our different channels and locations. We'll have this up on YouTube, Facebook, our webpage, iTunes, and everywhere you can think about going. And remember, we are HC.